unMadeGaming. We are here for the season finale of Men of Letters. And yes, as the apocalypse descends on the world, so too has it descended on several of our players. So we are down to the nerd squad today, and we're hoping against all hope that these three can save the world somehow without any semblance of violence. Let's see what happens. So, as always, I'm here with Jess, aka Burst of Hope. I'm here with Chelsea, aka Little Red Dot. I'm here with Colin, aka Colin, and we are here to save the world. As always, if you guys want to support the channel, you can do so by going to check out our Patreon. If you want to join the conversation, join us in the Discord. And if you want to support this beautiful, amazing cast and/or help me kill them on the season finale, you can see that Eldritch bar there in the middle of the screen. As soon as we fill that bar, I get to do whatever the hell I want. And all the money that goes to that bar goes to these wonderful, beautiful, shiny faces here. And without further ado, previously on the Men of Letters. Given their newly refreshed knowledge of prior timelines, Jack, Hiram, Tora, Joey, and Bradley begin to piece together the most likely places that the Horsemen are working out of, deciding to head to the Emmett Cant Research Facility, colloquially known as the Bone Hall. They concoct a plan to steal a vehicle and sneak their way in while Jack waltzes in the front door. Split in all directions, our investigators make their way around the research facility, hoping to stumble onto the Vermis de Mysteris, or another way to stop the Horsemen. We cut away from this research facility back to the Foxglove, where Tora is sat with Miss Belladonna, two best of friends now, two peas in one pod, one sassy, aggressive pod. She has...
I relate with that so much. Yeah. Shut your mouth.
She has asked you to stay back to assist her in a spell work. You're not sure if it's a very condescending, like, you come and I'll teach you something, little girl kind of thing, or she actually needs your help. But either way, she was very insistent on you staying behind to help her. And in the time that your friends have concocted the weirdest scheme, it sounds like they're going to steal a truck from somebody and or beat up and kill the drivers and then impersonate the drivers and then break into a heavily guarded research facility while Jack just sort of walks in the front door to attempt to sell the scientific research facility an antenna from his parents' radio station. It's very convoluted, and the more you heard of the plan, the more you wanted to stay behind with Belladonna, because it seems like it would probably be the safer bet. And the apocalypse can't be that bad. So, in the time that they have left to enact this plan, Miss Belladonna has laid out the map of Lovecraft, or of Arkham rather, and you have assembled that star, at least to the best of your knowledge, right? Where these locations were previously, and she is attempting to scry. You've seen or at least heard of this kind of magic before, and she tells you, "Dear, I need your assistance because you're the only one to have possibly seen these to seen these horsemen or have had any kind of contact with them. I don't know who they are, and they're not tied to me in any way." And she has the map laid out, and there are large... It kind of looks like crystals, right? But they seem strange. Like, they're in, like... One's, like, statuesque jade. Another one just seems to be, like, this amorphous lump that seems to, like, writhe. But they all seem to be some kinds of, like, arcane foci. And she is holding, in one hand, a very sinister but small blade. And in the other hand, a very... like thin metal necklace that's like very long, like it would be easily hidden in the cleavage of a dress, and it also ends. Yeah, that's the appropriate response, everyone. It also ends in a strange stone as well, and she looks to you and she kind of presents both of these, and she says, "I've done everything on my end. I need you to finish this. You'll take this blade," and she kind of hands it towards you. "You'll slice your hand in the palm and hold the necklace. If
what with the bloody palm?
With the bloody palm, yes. So astute of you. What I think should happen, if your attachment to these horsemen is as strong as I believe, your blood should run down and drip off the crystal in the location where they are. Your friends seem to believe that there's one at the Bone Hall, but we don't know where the other two are.
What happens if I sneeze while I'm holding this necklace? I mean, how can we rely on blood dripping if I sneeze?
I recommend you don't sneeze.
Yeah. Okay, you want me to do this now?
No, take your time. The apocalypse waits for everyone.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure it'll... this seems convoluted, but I guess it...
I'll wait.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell me more about the plan that they're concocting? Because that sounds interesting.
Oh, I tuned it right out. I think they're all going to die. The Hiram and Bradley, they are going to steal a van from the armed men that drive them, and Joey will be there. I don't know what they're going to do at all, except for possibly shout curse words and try to bum a smoke. I think Jack is just trying to flirt his way into the front door. I don't...
Just walk right up, I'm sure. I don't even know why I'm raising my eyebrows at this point.
To be fair, Jack's plan does seem like the most functional.
Okay.
I've seen it work before.
Okay.
And that's how we got here.
That's fine. I will take the knife, open it up, and do what is needed.
Okay.
Take the necklace, and I think about hovering it over the wrong piece of map, like not even the star part of Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like...
Roll me intelligence. Difficulty task is going to be 3.
Yeah, intelligence. I have that, and I want to spend effort because I'm tired of feeling like a schmuck.
Okay. Perfect.
Good thing I spent effort.
You nailed it. Yeah. So you begin to dangle this necklace over the map, right? And almost like it's magnetized to something, you see that the crystal at the end of this thing begins to pull towards a direction. So even if you're holding it away from the pentagram, it actually begins to sort of tug you that direction to sort of goad you into moving your hand. And
what a cheap trick.
The moment your hand aligns with where the crystal's kind of pointing to, you see a rivulet of blood begin to spiral down the metal neck piece of this necklace until it hits the gemstone and sort of spirals down to the base, and you see it just grow until a single bloop hits Emmett Cant's research facility, to which you would assume is where at least one of the horsemen are. And then you see the rock begin to move around again and sort of pull in a very similar direction, and another rivulet of blood bloop drops at the Emmett Cant research facility. And then you see another rivulet of blood bloop at the Emmett Cant research facility. And you realize that your friends thought there would be one there, and there appear to be no less than 3.
Okay.
You see Belladonna is staring down at the map, and she looks up, and you guys kind of make eye contact, and she has that same look of, oops, that you kind of have, that oh no, that's a plan we weren't ready for, right?
I wasn't anticipating that.
It appears as though the plan is definitely going to get your friends killed.
Well, there could be... We can pull it off. They're just...
Okay, you seem quite confident. I'll tell you what. I have been working with the men that you have saved, the men of letters, and I think I have... I hesitate to call it a solution, but I at least have some way to stay the course.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that some of their powers are tied to the pendants you had mentioned they're wearing.
Derivative of those brooches, yeah.
Yes, perhaps burning Dr. West alive destroyed his? I'm not sure. But I think if you are able to at least retrieve them, it will diminish their ability to, cause the apocalypse to some degree.
Okay.
And if you are able to retrieve me the book, I can keep it here for the safest of keeping.
I still don't trust you, and I don't want you to have the book, but I also don't want the horsemen to have the book. So I suppose I am left with no choice but to assume that the horsemen have the book, and I should bring it back here.
Okay. Jess?
Stealing lapels. Yes.
Would you like a GM intrusion?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
You can have an XP, and you can give one to Bradley or to Joey, whoever you think needs it the most.
Oh, my sweet, sweet Joey.
Okay.
I feel like you're gonna need it.
Okay. So as you're having this conversation, sort of locked eyes with Belladonna, dealing with the sassy stare of daggers between the two of you, almost imperceptibly, the camera kind of sees a fourth rivulet of blood descend down this thing, and as it disconnects from the gem, Belladonna scrunches up the map and begins to put it away.
Bitch!
She didn't notice it either.
Oh, jeez.
And that is your little GM intrusion.
Okay.
So she looks to you and says, I think if you can collect, perhaps, the pendants?
Oh, yeah, just steal lapels and pendants off of the horsemen. That's gonna be totally easy.
I feel like it might be easier than actually trying to kill them.
We're not a group that's great at brute force.
Right.
This is true.
Yeah. So, I think that's the easiest plan you have to not die. And perhaps if you bring them back to me, there may be something that I can do with them.
Okay, well, yeah, let's, I'm sure I have a spell in my pocket to shrink them down to size and put them in a jar and bring them back to you, all easy peasy. That's fine, right? Do we have any of the men of letters that we rescue that would maybe be ready to trek along with us?
They are equipped with guns. You could shoot your way in. Is that something you'd want to do?
That seems antithetical to trying to steal pendants off of these people.
Yeah, they're mostly researchers, and there's a few hired guns for, putting down people like Jack, usually. Or the other things that go bump in the night.
Right. I guess I have nothing else to say to you then. No resources, a vague idea of not dying, as useful as ever, Miss Belladonna.
Isn't she, though? She looks to you and says, I will confer with Eddie and see if he can mount some sort of strategic rescue.
Okay, you know what? No. First off, who the fuck is Eddie? Second,
Eddie's the one you guys saved in the basement.
Don't answer that until I'm done with you. Second off, if you are this centuries-old witch who can do all of these spells, why on earth are you not helping us?
She's helping you.
To be fair, that's a very wizard way to help.
Thank you. It really is.
We're not big on directly doing anything.
Yeah. So as you ask her these sassy questions, she kind of finishes rolling up the map and putting it away. And she looks to one of the people in the room to go get Eddie, right? She kind of wafts and someone heads towards that door that leads to the basement. And she looks to you and says, frankly, I'll be here with or without the apocalypse, so I am helping you.
Yeah, well, I mean, even a remote spell would be nice, or some sort of protection, just some voodoo ward. Apparently I can't set any. That's fine. And I'm gonna storm off. I'm not even gonna wait for Eddie. Eddie can come with or without me.
As you start to storm out of the door, you hear behind you, your inability to use magic is not my fault.
Ooh.
And then, as you step out the door, you hear it close behind you, as if by magic. And you are left.
To be clear, Tora and Belladonna got along for 20 minutes into the session, and then just right back to it.
The epilogue's going to be interesting for us.
I'm going to make this character in every game that I play with Jess from now on. For the rest of the
Tora is either going to kill or marry Belladonna at this rate.
Or both.
This is fine.
It's fuck, marry, kill with one person. It's just there's only one player in the game.
Oh god!
It's just an order of operations.
It's like a math equation. So yeah, you find yourself standing on the gaudy front steps of the Foxglove, the plum-colored door closed firmly behind you. What are you doing?
I have spent enough time looking at this map that I'm confident I will not get lost.
Okay.
Not like how I originally started this adventure.
Sure, yeah. You're pretty confident you can get it. It's only like 3 blocks away to the Emmett Camp Research Facility.
Right.
You are aware that it is completely fenced in and allegedly under armed guard. What's your plan to break in?
That is a viable question to which I have no answers except maybe a vague tracking the supernatural. And if
Okay. All right.
Let me double check. I need to refamiliarize myself with what skills I've got. Investigator, shine, isn't it? Hold, engage both mind, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. No, that's just passive. Yeah, no. Okay, cool. Not ever playing this focus again.
Speaking of abilities, I was very smug earlier because I was the one who had remembered to update their character sheet to tier 3.
Yeah.
And I just realized I skipped all of my types upgrades.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, why do I only have 2 abilities? I'm at tier 3. Yeah, so I have 5 abilities that I'm going to use in this finale.
Aren't you useless though? Isn't that what your focus is?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Doesn't do much.
I said type, not focus.
Oh, my bad.
Doesn't do much. His character is actually Body Wizard, who doesn't do much.
If you somehow got Body out of this neurotic mess, he has the sex appeal of a peeled grape.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
Can I go home now? Yes, I'm turning this fucking show around.
I find him humorously indecent.
No, I somehow really relate with the sex appeal of a peeled grape.
Yeah,
It was almost too personal. There was a lot of personal things in there.
I'm Bradley.
I am Bradley. Hear me wrong.
We're having a lot of growth moments.
All the time.
I think Colin is low key Bradley, and I'm here for it.
It's not low key. It's just a different voice. Everything else is me.
I'm here for it.
Ooh, I can enchant creatures. Noted.
Great. Perhaps you can enchant the guards.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to tiptoe my way down these blocks of
As
street.
you begin to stroll casually towards your doom, the camera pans along the street with you and then eventually past you and into the research facility, where we follow a clinking trolley full of glass vials into a room being pushed by Bradley and Ayo Hiram as a doctor, at least someone in a white lab coat, waits inside the room with you, as well as a short, squat man in a suit and bowler hat with a very, very wide smile. And he turns and he says, "Ah, yes, the last shipment. You can place it right there, my good men." And he kind of leers at you, Bradley, and the invisible Hiram. And you recognize this guy almost immediately from your strange lucid dream that he is one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. And on his lapel, he bears the scales. What do you do now that you're alone with the horsemen of the apocalypse?
Are you sure you don't want to check these? And just make sure they're all right. because we have to do paperwork, and technically you're supposed to sign off on it, but we've been neglecting that part.
When we're done here, son, there will be no one left to check the paperwork.
Well, my manager is new, and he's a bit of a stickler for these kinds of things.
In a few short hours, you won't even have a manager.
Because this one might have broken en route, and like Bradley's just going to like push it towards him more and more as he's talking, and
the
of
whole
course
cart.
the whole cart, and you can hear the vials like rattling. Bradley is on the verge of a nervous breakdown right now. Anyway, I want to use. I legitimately have 5 new abilities.
Yeah, so go for it.
I want to use Shatter on the vials and turn it into like a landmine in its face.
Okay. Wow, Bradley's pulling out a gun. I don't know if it's a big one yet, but he's pulling out something. Yeah. How does Shatter work?
I should probably read it before I say I'm going to do it. Interrupt the fundamental force holding normal matter together for a moment, causing the detonation of an object you choose. The object must be small, mundane item, homogeneous material. It's an area attack, dealing 1 point of damage to all creatures and objects in the area. I can increase it with effort.
Okay, so I will tell you what. So you can shatter a number of these bottles, right? Because essentially this is a Bradley height rolling rack, right? It's basically like an enclosed rectangle with the front piece missing, right? And this thing's lined with these things. I will say at whatever the normal cost of the spell is, you can shatter a number of them, dealing your points of damage. However, if you roll me an intelligence magical fuckery, whatever skills you have towards that, you can shatter the entirety of this cabinet. Like, all of the glass vials will burst forward.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because it only does 1 damage right now, and I can pump it up to, I think, 3 if I spend some effort on it. So I'm gonna spend 2 levels of effort on the damage and 1 on the actual blowing up.
Sure. Now, I just want to put out here, I don't remember if Joey actually said anything. But do you know what's in these vials? Because you were driving, or what you call driving, the truck.
I was driving. It was in Latin. I believe it was gross stuff. Like, I thought it was like pestilence stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of isms.
Yeah.
Like botulisms, necrotizing.
And I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
But I have 5 other abilities.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So
I'm just letting you know.
Out to just anthrax everywhere.
I'm subtly letting you know that you're about to explode liquid vials of poison into the atmosphere.
Do you just want to give me the intrusion XP now, or wait until
I'll wait till you roll, because you might roll a 1. So
that's fair. Oh God.
So you rolled a 5. Okay.
Beats difficulty 1.
It does.
No,
you know what?
It does beat difficulty 3 because I did asset and effort. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you begin to terrifiedly push this cart towards this portly, walrus-mustachioed man, saying, "Please check this. Please check this." And as you sort of like move it so that the glass front-facing area faces him and the other scientist, the incantation leaves your lips, and you feel like a tremor in your hand where you're holding this thing, and all at once, you just feel explosions of glass happening in front of this thing, and you see shards kind of spiral out, and you hear like a Wilhelm scream, like a from the scientist. And a very, like, throaty croak, like, almost as if from a frog, like a as the other man is struck with these poisons, and you feel the cart being pushed back towards you, like tipping over onto you. It is all Hiram can do to like hold it up to let you guys get out from behind it as this thing smashes down on the ground. And you see that the scientist is now covered in burns and nasty melts, and the horseman has pieces of glass embedded in him, and you can see around them there's like gross peeling, as if like pieces of his flesh are necrotizing while he's still alive. And he looks to you, and his way too wide smile sort of narrows, and he says, "Oh, I should have known it would be you." And he starts to slowly step over the cabinets towards you as pieces of his face are just sort of peeling off. And we cut to Joey. Joey, you are wandering around what looks like a laboratory. There are corridors, all arranged in like a grid kind of formation. The walls are about halfway, so most of the way for you. They come up to like a rib cage on an adult, and then it's glass to the rest of the ceiling. And you can see inside them, and it looks like every science fiction laboratory you've seen this. Just there's men and women in white robes. They have the rubber gloves up to the elbow. They actually have the hoods with like the plastic sort of face mask, right? There are animals. There's like all kinds, like they're experimenting on all kinds of things. And you see more and more of these racks of these different kinds of these vials of poison and isms and viruses and that kind of thing. And you see every room is slightly different. They're either experimenting on a different thing, with different vials, with like different colored vials, or they're mixing vials. There's like, alchemical, like a distillery kind of looking thing where they're distilling these poisons down from several vials to one vial, as if they are trying to make the perfect plague. So what are you doing?
That's a good question. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, there are lots of different rooms. There are lots of different things happening in them. Joey would be able, I would think, with their love of science, they would be able to pick which room seems to be doing the most important thing.
Okay.
Like, be able to, like, decipher which one is of interest, of real interest.
Yeah. Okay, give me a science roll. Give me a science roll. Difficulty's going to be 3.
Okay, I also have chemistry. Does it matter?
Yeah, you can apply both pseudoscience and chemistry to this. So essentially makes it a difficulty 1 for you.
Perfect. This will be easy.
Don't jinx it.
Oh.
Okay, perfect. You got a minor effect on her. So as you go around, you see that what it looks like is happening, right, is that they are whittling down these different isms, right? Like some of them are not cross-compatible, these viruses, these chemicals, and they are trying to find the ones that can be distilled into one. There is a central room, and every once in a while you see a group of scientists walk over with trays of these vials to this central room, and the central room is the one that looks like essentially like a liquor still, right? There's like glass tinctures and vials and Erlenmeyer flasks and like tubing kind of going places. There's like, flames abound, and they are distilling this into one mega plague, which is probably what's going to happen because we just hit the Eldritch Horror bar. So, yeah, rough.
Okay.
That quick, huh?
Question: before that happens, so they're testing things. Does it seem to be that there's a successful one? Is there one that they've started to multiply that I could take?
So it looks as though, yes, right? So they are distilling down to one, and that one is still being distilled down, right? Like a newer shipment of chemicals just got brought in, so they're gonna have to go through this with those as well to basically make the most mega plague possible. So they have one that is currently the base for the plague. So they have one that's the most far along. How about that?
Are there extras that I could take as I can?
Yeah, so you can with that if you want to use your minor effect to be able to identify, so you can identify which one is like the super plague, and then all of the other things they've mixed and are deemed failures because they don't do what they want it to do, which is mass apocalyptic plague.
But it doesn't mean they don't do something.
They all do something. They just don't seem to do the thing they want.
Okay.
So yeah, you can identify
like
a handful of those.
Pickpocket the failures, and if I can get a success, that's cool. I have a chemical injector, so ideally I'm looking for. I picked that up way the F back when.
I know you did. Okay. Cool. Roll me. I'll roll your stealth and your pickpocket all into one thing, right? So you're trying to break into this room that has people in it. So I'm going to say this is going to be a difficulty 5 stealth pickpocket roll.
Okay, interesting. I have theft and lockpicking. I'm trained in, though stealth is a skill I hold.
Okay, so so stealth would apply if you're trained in stealth. And pickpocketing will also apply if you're trained in pickpocketing.
So it takes it down. So the original difficulty was 5.
Yep.
Now I'm only trying to beat a 3.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna put some effort behind this.
Okay. It would be speed effort.
Right. Which I've got plenty of. Let's go ahead and just put 2. We're good.
So you're putting 2 effort in, so that makes it a difficulty 1 at that point?
15 beats.
Beats it, yeah. You absolutely beat it. So describe to me how you slink into this room and what it looks like when you steal these vials.
Okay. I suspect Joey's kind of short, and since all the walls are like half walls, I can hide behind them. So Joey slinks up next to the wall, stays really close, and as one of the, I'm guessing maybe like a cart or something, maybe comes by, they're like moving and exchanging stuff. Joey reaches inside the room that the helping, we'll call her a woman, left and knocks something over and breaks it so it distracts her. So she goes back, leaving the cart empty. Joey rushes up next to it, pops a collar on his jacket, and proceeds to take as many as I can fit in all of my jacket pockets.
Okay, perfect. Joey, how do you feel about, GM Intrusions?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Mike, if you're asking.
Cool. That is what I was asking.
Great, perfect.
So you have an XP, and you have 1 to give away to whoever you'd like.
Let's give that one... Colin, you can take that one, because you haven't had an XP given yet.
Perfect. As you steal these vials, very successfely, as I might add, you hear... a tonal shift in footprints, right? In footsteps. You've been walking around, so you've heard these almost like that kind of like weird rubbery nursing shoes, right? The non-slip kind of shoes. You've been hearing that the whole time, but now you hear like a booted like clack 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 like well-made leather. High, not quite like a high heel, like a feminine shoe, but like a heeled men's
like
boot,
a men's,
perhaps.
like a wooden heel on a boot. Yeah,
exactly. You hear that, and as you're kind of leaving the room, you see walking down one of the side alleys towards the shattered noise. You see a man. He is tall. He is clean shaven. He's well built. Has a chiseled jaw, and he carries himself like very stoically, as if, a military man. And you notice a glint in the bright fluorescent lights off his lapel as he bears the symbol of a sword. That is yet another one of the men, the horsemen of the apocalypse.
And he's headed my direction?
He's just walking down towards the toppled over cart. That you used as a distraction, but you didn't know there was a horseman here at all. Like you all presumed there was a horseman here, so you've seen this one now, and you have no idea that Bradley and Hiram have seen the other one.
So the other cart, the one that I stole all the stuff off, that she kind of left.
Yeah.
Is there a way for me to hide on it without being seen? Like does it have like something draped over it? Is it like an enclosed type car since it's moving chemicals? Yep. Okay, I would like to replace myself where the chemicals were. That I picked.
So you steal them all and then climb inside.
Climb inside. I'm gonna see where she's wheeling this to. Joey's gonna hop a free ride.
Okay. Cool.
All right,
Wait,
Snake.
Pause. Did you recover from getting hit by an actual truck?
I have not recovered that. I did get hit by an actual truck. I have not recovered from that.
No. Yeah, she got hit by a whole ass truck.
I put a spell on her.
My jacket protected me.
It didn't. It did not. It did not.
My new hat and jacket protected.
So you are inside this cart, being wheeled to places unknown. So you get a few rotations of the wheels. You feel it like lurch to one side, as you can clearly tell you're moving around corners. You get that like sort of sickening sort of centrifugal force thing happening as you're trying to do your best to hold on to the vials that are haphazardly wrapped inside what is only a bathrobe. And as you begin to move around in here, you hear, it starts off as like a whine at first, and then it blares to like almost like a fire alarm perhaps. You hear blaring klaxons in this place. Wow, 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 happening. Bradley, you hear this as well, as you see now a scramble of people that are just outside of the room in which you shattered the things, and there are red flashing lights in the hallways. Why
does the alarm sound like Owen Wilson?
Wow. Because that's what it is. That's what it is.
The Owen Wilson alarm.
Hey guys, wow.
Wow.
This is what an alarm would sound like if I were an alarm. Wow. So we cut outside to Tora arriving to this facility as you see blaring klaxons and lights. Wow, wow.
Yeah. Oh, this cannot end well. This is great. Wow.
You see that there are well-suited gentlemen are leaving posts and headed towards the building. So you have a way in, but there's armed guards running into the building where you presume your friends are.
Okay. If I like have on the walk there, as like putting on my occult eyeballs. So do all of these people going into the building look human?
They are, yeah. As far as you can tell, they look completely human. In fact, this looks nothing like what existed in the previous timeline. There's there's no sigils, there's no warding on this building. There's everyone looks like they're humans. They just seem to either have no idea what's going on or they're just, bemused by it.
How many people are walking in at the sound of the alarms?
From what you can see without getting a vantage point, you see at least 5 people that are moving from your angle towards the building, but you're sure there could be more.
Okay. By the power invested in me with the black cats on screen, I want to sneak up and stab at least 2 of them before they get inside.
Wow, what an aggressive standpoint this party's taking all of a sudden.
I don't have time for these humans.
It's the apocalypse.
You got me, Colin.
They're working for the centaurs. I need them out of my way.
I wish Gnome was here for that joke. I hate it. For those of you watching at home, Gnome keeps calling them horsefolk, and I keep thinking of centaurs, because there is a horsewoman as well. So it's messing me up, man. Yeah, are you just running in here and getting knife happy, or are you stealthing in? What's your modus operandi for killing humans?
I didn't say kill, just maim.
Well, when you put it that way.
You didn't specify, so
it's true. Okay,
depends on
so
that role.
Fine. I'm gonna sneak. I'm gonna shadow essentially whoever's getting in there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to shadow them, but also I think if I remember correctly, I have a cool ability.
Oh.
I have a pocket eclipse ability.
Oh.
And for 2 intellect points, for 10 minutes, the light drains from an area within long range that is no bigger than immediate distance in diameter. Light cannot enter the area of the eclipse, and the creature that normally can see in the dark cannot see in that area. If you cast eclipse on an object, the effect moves with the object and could be temporarily suppressed. And if the object is enclosed in wrapping or containing,
So you can cast darkness on a person or on a place. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you're gonna stealth in there, darkness a person, and then stab them to death, or stab them inconveniently.
No, I have 2 edge and intellect, so I'm gonna, as many as I can get away with, I want to cast darkness on the humans, so they're just running around blindly in the dark.
Okay.
Nice.
So if you have 2 edge and it costs 2, you get one. You get 1 free cast, and then you just spend
per action, right?
Yeah.
So in one action.
If you're trying to do it to multiple people, I will allow you to do it to multiple people. You'll get 1 cast for free, and then you just spend 2 every other person you want. So right now you see 5 people, so you'd have to spend 8 to get all of them.
Done.
All right. So you drain that intellect pool as
I'm like, I'll show you magic, Belladonna.
As you make a corridor of darkness appear, you see like the last guy is opening the door, like a handled door into the building, and you kind of sneak up behind him and whoosh, and just the entire hallway is covered in darkness. That you, with your magical eyes, you can kind of get through. They're kind of like, oh, what's happening? And they're like moving their hands around, and they're like bumping into each other and kind of scrambling around. But you have easy ingress to this building as you see happening inside the building as the Wilson klaxons blare louder and louder with red tonal flashes.
How can you take the apocalypse seriously when it's Owen Wilson?
Wow. This is like a crazy
Owen Wilson is a thespian par excellence.
No, if I was going to be in the apocalypse, it would be a crazy thing. Like, wow.
In the post-credit rolls, I have a story about the word thespians.
I have one too. So you are able to get into the building. When you go inside, it is a myriad of corridors. Again, it is a veritable maze. There are these cube offices, right, that are, like I said, halfway high walls with glass and all kinds of science happening in them. And they're probably like a good 10 feet by 10 feet, and then there's a hallway, another one of these like cubes, another one of these cubes, and just sort of like they are enclosed science spaces. And you see that there are people kind of maneuvering around, sort of scrambling in here, in a way that like they might not even notice you at first. And you see that there is a woman hurriedly pushing a cart in some direction, and you see there's a massive group of people running towards one section of the building as if something really bad's happening over there. And in the distance, through all the windows, you see that tall, stalwart man in a suit, like looking very military, sort of slow, Jason Voorhees walking down these corridors. So what are you doing?
I need to find my friends. It's pretty blatantly obvious to me who this tall, stalwart man is, right?
Yeah, you can't see the pin, but you're pretty sure you recognize him. You were at least tangentially inside the dream space, so like you kind of get, some recognition from who this person is.
Okay. Ooh, blue, 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 blue. I wanna swing
from the chandelier.
I think I'm going to pop my rejuvenator while I have this moment of respite and get some of my health back.
Sure.
One random step. Oh, cool, great. That's that. And then I feel like I have a bond with Bradley enough that I should be able to get a whiff of their magic use.
Yeah, I don't even think that
Nervous sweat.
I don't even think that you need to really put too much effort into it. You know that in the plan, Joey, Hiram, and Bradley were all together, and Jack was off on his own. So it would be safe to assume that wherever the most people are running to, it's probably where Joey, Bradley, and Hiram did something stupid.
Yes.
So you don't even have to roll for that and know that they've caused something. So you're going to find at least one of them if you just go to where the people are.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a scramble of black-on-black suited gentlemen running, and you can see as they're quickly maneuvering, you can see that there are pistol holsters in their holsters, right? There are pistols in the holster as they are running towards this one area. Do you follow?
I follow the whiff of Bradley.
Okay, that is unfortunately the direction that everyone is running towards.
Of course.
Yeah. So as you sort of join the fray, you see these guards sort of surrounding an area, and you see Hiram, and you see Bradley, and you see the frog-faced suited boulder cap man, face sort of oozing off. Pieces of glass are sticking out of his face, and he is advancing on Bradley and Hiram as the rest of the guards sort of begin to draw their pistols.
This is not ideal.
And you can see from the corner of your eye the soldier-looking guy slow walking towards this kerfuffle.
Okay. Are we in initiative space, or like was I blending in with the guards running in?
You're blent in at this point because there's so much of a commotion happening. So what would you like to do as you see your friends about to die? In trouble.
I'm going to take out my occult runic dagger that's got a curved blade and slit as many hamstrings and as many Achilles heels as possible.
Wow. Now we see Tora's true colors.
You see,
this is actually the musical episode, guys. That's what the apocalypse is. Everyone just sings forever. That's how the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a chorus of song. So yeah, you begin to charge into this fray. And as you charge in, we will cut back to Bradley and Hiram. As Hiram goes, "Hey, oh, that was crazy!" Right? As he looks to Bradley, who he's never seen do anything violent in his life. Bradley, you are faced with a, albeit excited Hiram, but a horribly melting visage of the horseman. Hiram kind of puts a hand, like a big ham fist on you, and pushes you further into the room, as if to transpose himself into the door to stop this onslaught of dudes from just rushing in here. And you see him go, "Oh yeah, it's clobbering time," and he just starts punching his way out of the room. But you are left alone with the horseman of the apocalypse.
1v1 me, scrub. Okay. So
Okay.
I got another XP. I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to... Bradley is going to clutch his hands together very tightly, and something in between them starts to glow.
Ooh.
And then he's going to do that. And when he does, this is another new ability called Fire and Ice. It causes a target within short range to become either very hot or very cold. This is a pestilence, dude. Germs don't like heat.
Okay.
So I'm going to choose hot.
Okay. Target
suffers 3 points of ambient damage each round for up to 3 rounds. Although a new roll is required each round to continue the effect. I'm gonna dump 1 level of effort into making that hit and 2 into damage. So if successful, oh no, I'd have to roll each round.
Okay.
I don't know if I can bump it with effort, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So wait, how much is the damage normally?
It's 3 points of damage each round for up to 3 rounds. So it's an action this turn, but each turn I re-roll to see if it does another round of damage.
Okay.
And that can happen up to 3 times.
Okay, I dig it. So let's call it a difficulty 5 roll.
Okay. All right, difficulty 5. No training in that, so I'm going to apply 2 levels of effort.
Okay.
To this first one. And no asset. Boom. Success.
Success. All right. Okay, so describe to me what this looks like.
The first, it doesn't look like anything at first. It's, I guess at this point it would be some gross, greasy sweat on this pestilent toad man.
Okay.
But yeah, Bradley's going to describe what he's doing out of nervous habit. Like, this is a spell developed in the worship of Asmodeus, who later dictated the Book of the Law to Aleister Crowley, and you should start to feel the effects now, you dramatic fuck.
So, Tora, you hear Bradley describing in great detail the magical spell work that he is casting currently on this person. It's okay. All right. It does 3 damage of 3 sweaty, uncomfortable damage. Perfect.
Ignores armor.
Okay, cool. Okay. Good to know.
That's the important part.
Okay.
Otherwise, I got other stuff.
Yeah, so you see the pussy side of his face sort of like peeling away, and then you see like way too thick beads of sweat, right? Like it's gross. Like he is
Gloopy.
sweating. It's gloopy. Yeah. Like again, it looks like a moist toad, right? That was an apt description.
Loopy.
Gloopy. Yeah. It is thick, translucent sweat just sort of pouring down him, as if his chemical composition is slightly different than what you would expect. Cool, this is going to be fun. He's going to advance towards you, and you see his wide sneer, again, stretch back to, like, his ears. And you see all of, like, the pussy grossness and the shards of metal sort of bend and move with his smile as he opens his mouth way too wide. And you can, like, see, like, the entire intricacies of his mouth. And it looks a little bit shark-like, where there are rows of sharp, pointed teeth. And you hear that strange, like, gurgle, that, like, noise that he made before. And it seems as though now he's possibly making it on purpose. He's kind of, like, lurching and you see him, like, convulse. And out of his mouth, you just see this green pustule just sort of emerge out of the back of his throat and then explode forward. And you just see this noxious gas just sort of float out of its mouth in your direction, and it just begins to expand towards you. And I need you to make me a difficulty 5 defense roll. It will be speed, unless you're just going to take it like a champ.
So, we're now up to 3 abilities that I'm pulling out of my ass in session. This one is called Resonance? No, that's not it. Where is it? There is Resonance Field. Essentially, it forces any defense roll I would normally make to become an intellect defense roll.
Okay.
And there's a minor rider to that if I happen to score 17 or higher.
Okay.
So
difficulty 5.
I picked that one because it literally says, whenever a creature within immediate range makes an attack against you, the pattern energizes to block the attack.
Hate it. Hate what you're saying.
Okay, I'm not going to apply effort to this. Should have... crap.
You can re-roll. You got an XP.
Yeah, I have XP. I'm going to re-roll it. I wish it were quicker to re-roll.
It's not.
Success!
Ooh, success. Okay, fantastic. Okay, cool. So this sort of enshrouds you with this noxious gas, and you can feel it, right? You can feel it like burn on your skin, and you can feel it like in your nose. This is like, it's like tear gas, right? You can feel it like in your orifices as you kind of have that capsaicin kind of burst, and you can feel it like itches and crawls across your skin. But it's, at this point, it's just irritating, and it's not causing you any like lasting damage. But you're pretty sure that if you had gotten the full blast of this thing, this would have hurt a lot. And he still continues to advance, making that strange, like, croaking laugh as he moves towards you. His, like, jowl sort of shaking as he makes this noise. And we will cut to Joey, who is just chugga in a cart, who is the safest person and who should probably just stay in the cart for the rest of the apocalypse.
As planned, no worries.
So Joey, you are being moved. It seems as though you can hear like a bunch of like footprints and running, moving away from where you're going. Like you hear the footprints running by you, right? So wherever this person is taking you is away from whatever things are moving towards. So where do you want to burst out of this thing, or you just want to see where this goes?
My plan is to have them deliver me somewhere.
Okay. So you're just gonna ride until they stop.
I want to know where I want to know where they're taking these chemicals.
Okay.
Like where are they storing them? I'm guessing, at least that's Joey's thought, is that this cart was leaving with goods, therefore it would be going to that location.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you are in this chugga thing going down, and you can actually feel the like that weird like stomach lurch as you descend downward. right? Because you can't see your surroundings, so it's an unexpected lurch. So you are descending down. It's not like a rocky situation. It's still like a laminated floor, but you are definitely headed down, down like a ramp, like a handicap ramp almost, right? And it goes down for quite a bit of time. And your best guess is probably like 60, 80 feet of this laminated thing, and then you feel that clunk, and then it's like it's stone. It's very like jostly as you are moving down this thing, and you seem to be in at least some kind of different flooring.
The child in me wants to go.
You watch as one of the vials just jiggles and the liquid sloshes around.
I grab my
inside.
Pockets a little bit so they don't jingle too much. Yeah.
You know that there's been a shift in where you are. Your best guess, actually, no. Roll me. We'll say difficulty 3 intellect.
Ooh, no. Okay. Perception?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. You said level 3?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to use a point of effort as well from that intellect pool. Yay, 17.
Okay, fantastic. Your best guess as to what's happening is this facility is somehow connected to the underground. And you are now transitioning into those underground tunnels that seem to go all throughout Arkham. So they're bringing these, like, likely with a 17, they're likely bringing these to a central location to do something.
Would I have any knowledge of what's under Arkham? Like, is it old train tunnels? Is it sewage tunnels?
So it's partly sewage tunnels, right? Like, some of this is like the new sewer, some of this is like the old sewer, and some of this is repurposed bootlegging paths. It appears as though there's just like almost like an undercity under Arkham. There's just these, like, some of the tunnels lead into sewers, some of them are completely bone dry, some of them have like established places in them. Like, Bradley made it all the way from Miskatonic University underground to the Foxglove.
Okay.
There's also one from the Foxglove to the warehouse that you were found in a vat in. So they traverse the entire space of Arkham.
Okay.
So where it's leading you towards, you're not sure, but you're definitely sure you're in here. And judging by what you can hear and feel, it's just you and the woman pushing the cart. There's no one seemingly around you. So, is there anything you'd like to do before we cut away?
Hell no. No, I just got hit by a car. I'm going to ride this cart till it stops moving and she goes away.
Perfect.
No, Joey, yeah. I feel like Joey's slowly getting to, like, this core, like, thing. And that's what Joey's trying to get to the source.
Okay. Fantastic. We'll cut to Tora. Tora, you are slicing tendons and you are, hearing Bradley's spell work, I guess you can call it, and you are hearing that wet smack of fist on face from Hiram as he is punching people. So for you, I'd like you to roll me an attack roll to see how well you are slicing these tendons, unless there's something else you want to do to pop up here and stab people as you're now apparently want to do.
Yep, I'm gonna maim as many of these insignificant troglodytes as I can.
Okay. Well, roll me a, I think it would probably be speed, right? Because you're trying to do this as quickly as possible. Roll me an open-ended speed roll. Add whatever you'd like to it, and I will see how many you are slicing up.
Yep, I'm re-rolling that because I hate it.
Okay.
We're gonna try that again.
That's a fair.
No.
It was worse the second time, it turns out. So.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, you are, it's been a while since you stabbed people. It might be a first time for you. So, you're not, where the Achilles tendon on a werefolk is very different than on a person. It's far lower by several inches. So you got a couple slashes in like the mid-calf region, trying to hit some haunches there. It hurts, but it's not as effective as you'd like it to be. But as you're just quickly trying to stab as many people, people are becoming aware of your presence, and they are turning towards you. Away from the giant ham-fisted man-beast that is punching them in the face over and over again. You have at least 4 people have like turned around and like, what the fuck is happening here? And you see hands reaching down towards you to like hoist you up off the ground where you are slicing and dicing. So if you'd like to get away, I'd like a defense roll, a speed defense roll. Difficulty is going to be 4.
Okay. Okay, I guess we skirted around the initiative. That's okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna
Okay,
go. We're just
great.
gonna go 1, 2, 3.
You know what? Fine.
Oh.
I'll just take it. This is the finale. Fuck it.
Oh, do you have something that you need initiative for, Tora? Is that why you're asking?
I'm trained in initiative, and I have danger sense, so it reduces by 2 steps any initiatives.
I will allow your danger sense to work in defense rolls as well, because you can kind of see it coming towards you. But yeah, 1's a 1 no matter how you spin it. So you are grabbed by these people, and you are hoisted up, like feet are dangling off the ground. And you are being pulled in towards that room. So you're actually getting closer to Hiram, which might not be a bad thing. But you are getting dragged towards what you see as the Horseman of Pestilence, who is clearly a monstrous creature who is breathing some kind of noxious smoke onto Bradley. And again, as you're being jostled through this crowd, you can see just over the heads of these men that there is that soldier who's still slowly walking to join this group. Very casually, like a serial killer does. As you are being passed around like a crowd surfer. And we will cut over, and we will cut over to Bradley. Bradley, you're in a interesting position, man. What are you doing?
My best.
One would
just, I'm just trying.
Yeah.
So if it's another turn, then I get a free roll to see if the effect triggers this turn.
Go for it.
I'm going to apply 1 level of effort to this, because I essentially get that for free.
Pew, 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 pew.
Success. So another 3 damage through the armor.
Okay, cool. So that's a total of 6 damage so far.
Yes, 6 plus the 3 from the Shatter Claymore.
Right.
But that doesn't ignore armor.
Right.
And I'm going to be a little boring with my action this time and use my Onslaught.
Okay. Are you doing the mental one or the physical one?
I'm going to do mental because we're now on to 4 abilities. This one was super boring. I'm now trained in Onslaught. That like ayahuasca trance that Bradley went through 2 episodes ago, it's all clicking. He's reconnected with the pattern. Okay.
So let me have that blast. It's going to be a difficulty, what did I say here? Difficulty 5.
Okay. So going to do 2 levels of effort on to hit and 1 on damage.
Okay.
Boom.
That is a hit. So describe to me what your onslaught looks like.
Bradley now he had his hand wounded from earlier, so he's just digging in just enough to get some of that blood going again. Throws the hand out, and there's like a sort of visual, that like visual thrumming you get near a bass, like when it's really blasting.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's kind of totally noiseless and without real perceptible quality other than the movement.
Okay.
And Bradley says, I don't think you understand. As terrified as I am, I'm still Bradley Leach. I'm the protector of this pattern, this place, and you are fucked.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't even. Wow. As a chorus of applause happens around you. What is the damage on this onslaught?
Normally it's 2, but with the effort it's 5. So 5 ignoring armor because it's the influx version.
Okay, so Bradley, you summon all of your worldly courage, threaten and blast this man, and you see him driven to one knee as the abruptly stops and his mouth sort of closes, and you see him like shockingly look up towards you as he's kind of driven back, and you see it was physical, right? The onslaught.
It is mental.
Okay, you see him like his hand throw up to his head, and you see his eyes kind of like almost chameleon-like sort of roll in his head, And you can see, like, as they move, like, his eyes are, like, yellowed towards the backside, as, like, whatever you're doing is very effective on this guy. And he is driven back. The mouth closes and the gas sort of recedes and begins to dissipate towards the floor. And it is at that point that you notice, coming in the second door, the military-esque man with a sword on his lapel.
No, I just finished with one.
You also see, I assume, a not very quiet, squirming Tora being crowd surfed towards you guys, towards you. And I'm sure there are some shouts and cusses from Hiram, both at the people he's punching and at Tora for being all the way the fuck up there, and get down here and help me. Those kind of things. Hey, what are you doing up there? Get down here. Those kinds of things. Followed by, as he punches several more people in the face. Fantastic. The military member walks in very casually, and you see him reach down to his, like, hip, where you would imagine, he'd have a gun holstered, and he pulls something up, and you hear, like, a slide of metal on metal, and as if pulling out of a pistol holster, you just hear this shing, as he is slowly pulling out an actual sword. And he is advancing towards you as if some medieval knight. And we cut to Joey, who is still comfortably in a trolley underground. Joey, the bracca continues all the way down this stone, this pathway. You feel it level out and you are no longer going downward. It kind of wobbles a little bit, so you kind of have the impression that the path in which you're in is rounded, like you're in a tunnel, almost, like an old sewer kind of tunnel.
It's like it's like drifting up and down curbsides.
Yes,
okay, yeah.
Kind of maneuver that way. It goes on for a few more seconds, and then there's just an abrupt stop, and you hear this like sigh, and then you hear something being like plunked on top of the cabinet in which you're in. And then you can hear a few more footsteps, like, other than the person who was pulling us around. And you hear them, like, I think you would be acutely aware of this kind of thing because of the science and weird stuff you do. You hear the sound of wire being pulled, like copper wire being pulled from a spool. And you hear, like, somebody's, like, wrapping wire on something and rigging it through. You hear, like, the sound of wire running through, like, an eyelet as if you're, like, pulling it through. Basically, if you're, like, wiring a house for electricity, right?
Okay.
You hear that kind of thing happening around you, and it goes on for, like, a good 60 seconds or so, and then abruptly stops. And you hear this, like, murmured conversation. You get words like, I think we're done here. That kind of conversation, and then you hear those footprints walk away.
Okay, Joey like peeks out to see what's up.
You are in a barely lit, domed room. There are several tunnels coming off of this room that kind of just spider out in different directions. And you see that there are strings of electric lights, very small electric lights, sort of rigged around this place. Okay. And every so often, these electric lights have flasks, much like a lantern, but they are full of swinging liquid. This clear liquid, much like the ones that are in the
Can Joey very
bottles.
easily rightfully assume that this is some kind of explosive?
Yeah. This looks like the same kinds of chemicals that are in the vials that you are holding.
Huh. I don't have time to, like, figure out an antidote or, like, fix anything. Okay. How many hanging vials are there?
In this domed chamber, there's probably 24, but you also see the cables extend down these hallways further in. Your best, you know what? Roll me some pseudoscience and some chemistry for me. It's gonna be difficulty 4.
Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do chemistry because I think Joey's trying to figure out: is there a way to? Most chemicals have some way to quickly like nullify them.
Yep.
It may not be like an antidote necessarily, but a way to, like, alter the chemical makeup to make it not do what you want it to do.
Sure.
So I'm and this mechanism I'm trying to well, that may be a different role. Let's start with the chemistry and then I'll deal with the actual engineering piece of it. You said it was a 3?
4.
A 4. Okay. I'm trained in chemistry, so that's down to 1 or 3.
Yep.
And then I'm going to use to be intellect. I'm going to use another point of effort on this. Okay. Success!
Okay, so you're looking around this thing, and you're looking for a way to stop this in some manner.
Right.
You notice two things. The first and most important thing you notice is that the way this seems to be rigged up is these cables transfer electrical current, right? Like you would imagine like a string of lights would, except
Okay.
they are wired, so the copper is actually around the glass. Therefore, the electrical current would heat the filament, thereby
Right.
causing this to
the-
evaporate. It would actually cause it to evaporate. So you're fairly certain that whatever this is leads back to a central location with a plunger or some kind of switch that will send the current out. And if you can find that and cut that flow of AC, DC,
Right.
whatever, you can stop them from incinerating.
Okay, well that's a huge start. So Joey's like, okay, all I gotta do is clip the wire. So Joey just starts like, 10 feet, snip,
Okay.
snip, and Joey's just gonna start like trailing it to find the like explosive plunger. But I'm just gonna snip all the way.
You're just gonna start moving down. Okay.
Random snipping.
Yeah.
I'm just randomly snipping.
So this does spiderweb into several directions. So do you just sort of randomly pick one and just start cutting in a direction?
If it's spider webs, it's clearly coming off like a main string of electrical cable. I'm gonna hit that main row.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And go ahead and like where it spiders outwards, just nip that so the spider, like spidering outward, is null and void.
Yeah.
And then all I gotta do is find this like central row
Okay.
of them.
So for you to get a better visual, the spider web is the room you're in, and there are tunnels that lead off of this. One of them, you're sure, is the main one.
Okay.
With that roll, you're not 100% positive which one it is, but you have an idea, right? So you start heading down the one that you're.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
the
just gonna start the
closest-
search process. Yeah.
Yep. So you begin heading down a tunnel, snipping this wire as you kind of go, trying to track back to where the end receptacle is. As we cut to Tora. Tora, you are held aloft in front of a screaming Hiram for you to get down and help him. What do you want to do about that?
You just, you look like you've got it, and that is too much tallness. I just would get in your way. Just keep slapping him with your big old fists. Bradley! Good to see you!
Tora!
Yep, I meant to be up here.
I mean to do a lot of things too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I should have stabbed them in the armpits, not the Achilles. Noted.
Wow. Do you want to try to get down, Tora?
I'm gonna, if they're just picking me up.
Yeah,
and
they seem to be
Well,
dragging
just
you
like,
towards, like, as they get you towards the front, like towards Hiram, you can see that they're maneuvering you towards like the back door. Like they're trying to also they're trying to get you also into the room with Bradley and the horseman.
The closer I can get to Bradley and the horseman without pitting my feet down, I'm content.
Okay, perfect.
Channeling my inner queen.
Perfect. Is there anything you want to sort of prepare for when you get loosed on the world?
Oh, I think I'm gonna hold my action and just have my knife at the ready.
Okay.
Apparently, all of my eliminating the occult, the cool shit doesn't happen until like tier 6.
Yeah. Also, it's hard to eliminate the occult on regular ass humans.
That's true.
So
You're right.
After like some struggles and some punches and some sad cries from inside the room, you are eventually like tossed into the room, and then the door is slammed behind you. Go ahead.
Player intrusion.
Go for it. You have an XP.
I believe the word you meant to say was yeet.
I didn't. And in fact, I didn't mean to say that. And you take 2 damage. No, you are tossed into the room unceremoniously, and your dagger breaks. No, you are thrown, and the door slams behind you, and there is you, the sordid man, the kneeling frog person, Bradley, and the door that is Hiram. You are sort of trapped in this room, and you hear that like metallic clang of something breaking off in the handle. There is no way out through this door that you came in. Your held action is applicable if you'd like to do something right this second.
Who's closest to me?
The as far as you can tell, the Horsemen of War.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
And approximately how big is this room?
This room is probably like 10 feet wide by like 15, 18 feet long.
Okay, not too terribly big.
Right.
Wunderbar. I want to pop my other Cypher, which I imagine I've been holding onto this like crystal orb. It is a 0-point field. And I want to check it at the horse. With the war horse.
Okay, what does this thing do?
It's essentially a level 5 spell.
Okay.
And it renders an inanimate object outside the effects of most energy for 1 minute. This means the object cannot be harmed, moved, or manipulated. So I'm using it on the sword of the horseman to just render it unmovable for I don't know how long. 1 minute.
Okay, fantastic. Is there an associated roll to this, or you just kind of throw it at this thing and it shatters?
I plunk it and use it.
Perfect.
And it's gone.
I believe that. So yeah, you throw this and it shatters on the sword that he has just sheeked out of his blade, and you see him like pulling it up to like bring down on Bradley, and he just stops, and you see like every sinew in his arm like try to force this thing and muscle through whatever spell work you've just done to this thing. And he is unable to do so, and after a while he just exasperatedly lets go of it.
Yeah, it remains in midair.
Yeah, and it just sort of stays there, and he turns back towards you. And Bradley, you see him turn on his heel and move back towards Tora. Tora, this terrifyingly stalwart man is coming up on your business. So he's walking towards you, no longer holding a sword in his hand. And you see his eyes sort of flick this bright red kind of color. Like no pupil, no iris. His eyes just kind of gleam red. And he walks towards you, and he raises that same hand that he was using to grab the sword and just brings it down, like to punch you across the face. So I need a defense roll, a speed or might.
Okay.
It's going to be difficulty 5.
Cool. I'm going to use Fleet of Foot.
Okay.
So it's a roll of a level 2 speed check to move a short distance and take an action.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, that just, Leb puts it there. Let me, speed roll. Level 2. Fuck.
Unfortunately, you do have some XP if you'd like to try that again.
I'm totally going to reroll. Sorry, not sorry. Come on. Yes.
Okay, so you quickly dash backwards as the fist just sort of clambers down to where you were, and you are able to quickly take another action. What do you want to do?
Oh, geez. How tall is this guy?
He's like 6'4".
Okay.
He's like Hiram size.
Pretty tall.
And Hiram is currently being a meat blender outside to the regular peeps.
Right. He's Hiram height, but he's like chiseled.
Okay. Normally this is a one-handed dagger, but I'm going to take it by the hilt with both my hands. Okay. And I'm going to use Wreck, which essentially I take a -1 penalty to the attack roll, but I inflict an additional 3 points of damage.
Okay.
I'm going to expend speed to hit. So I'm going to expend a level of effort to do extra damage.
This is a light weapon as well, right?
Yes.
So you get a free asset as well for light weapons.
Yeah, so it neutralized the -1.
Yep.
So I'm going to do a flat speed roll to hit, but extra, hopefully 6 points of damage.
Okay, so
difficulty... You know what? No. Lies.
You sure?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to expend 2 levels of effort because I do want to hit. So it eases at 1.
Difficulty is 5 to hit this guy.
Jesus Christ. This is a big boy. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I can spend effort from everywhere. Difficulty, fuck.
No, 5. Do you need a reroll? I've got 2 XP.
No, I've sat on 10 XP for this finale.
Oh,
so
Jesus Christ, Jess.
Yes, I've not spent any XP. So here I am, rerolling everything. I believe in the heart of the cards, aka statistics, and no.
You want to keep going? Or are you good?
You've got 10. You've got like a half hour to spend these. This is
Yeah. Okay, one more, and then I'll take it or leave it here with this turn. Nope.
Jess.
Nope.
What's happening right now?
Oh man! At least it's not an intrusion, guys.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Technically, if we're in battle, this is horror.
It's not actually horror mode. It's just
Okay.
you're just in your scared battle mode. So
Yeah.
you grab on the tiny handle of this little Chris you have, and you're trying to swing away at this guy, and he's just deflecting with his, muscly arms, just like swatting you away.
This is fine.
It's a very Belladonna-esque swat, where it's like, get out of here with this dagger nonsense. Get out of here. As that is your combined turns, Bradley.
I tried so hard.
The Horseman of Pestilence is taking a knee before you. He seems down but not out. Given a moment's recovery, he might be able to get back on his feet. But you do see that Tora is in the throes of combat. What do you want to do?
Okay, so I still have one more round of the fire effect.
Oh, okay. Let me have it. So
Right, because that was only 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend my 3 level of effort on that. Huzzah.
Success.
So he takes another 3.
Okay, so he was down like one knee on the ground, hand on the knee. Now his hand's on the ground, and he's kind of like panting a little bit as you see these globules of sweat just pouring down him.
Okay. Because he intellectually he wants to finish this, but he also sees Tora.
You've never seen Tora actually wielding a little dagger.
Yeah. So I think I've got to spend my last bullshit ability.
Go for it.
It's called countermeasures.
Okay.
You immediately end one ongoing magical effect. Alternatively, you can use this as defense to cancel an incoming magical ability, but I don't want to do that. You must touch the effect or device to cancel it. I want Bradley to get a running start and grab the sword out of midair.
Yeah, you do.
And strike him in the back with his own weapon.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you cast that spell, and as soon as you grab the thing, you feel that fluid movement happen. And it's a difficulty 5 check. I believe speed or I think because of Bradley's willowy frame, it might be a might to swing the sword.
Yeah, which is great. Well, it's how many? If I want to spend 3 levels of effort, how much is
7?
that?
Yes.
7.
Yep.
Okay,
I feel
so
like you should have an asset if his back is turned and he's focused on me.
I'll give you that. It's the finale. Why not?
Okay, and that's good because in doing 3 levels of effort on this,
Big Ute.
I am now impaired.
Perfect. So you swing at this thing. Go ahead and roll it. Is that an auto success for you, or do you still need to roll?
No, I still needed to beat difficulty 1, unfortunately, because I'm very weedy.
Oh, you did it. Okay, cool. So yeah, you swing away. Describe to me what this looks like as Bradley sinks this sword into this man.
I'm the first of the law. Shall be do as thou wilt. And grabs the sword and tries to like sort of bunny hop because he's got no ups.
Yeah.
But he's gonna like bunny hop and try and come down right on the back of his clavicle.
Okay. Okay.
I think he like falls into it when he hits, he's got no upper body strength. He just kind of collapses into, and he's getting all cut up as well.
Yeah. I like it. Cool, fantastic. So you grab onto this thing, you do that like hop, that like little crow hop, and you swing down and throw your whole body into this thing. This blade, not that you have a lot of experience with them, this blade, it's as if you're not even holding anything. It just cleanly cleaves through the air as if you're just holding like an imaginary sword. And as soon as you feel the contact bite into the back of this guy, you see like it slice into him like a warm knife through butter. And where it hits him, it like splits open, and that same red light that Tora sees in the eyes begins to like spill out of his back as you cleanly cleave into his back and all the way through, like all the way follow through. And you see his back sort of peel open, and this bright red light begins to emit from him, and then slowly it like stitches itself back together. But you see him reel in pain as you deal 8 points of damage to this boy with that sword. Hot diggity damn.
Anyway, now I'm impaired.
Yeah, and now you are impaired. So yeah, fantastic. Cool. We will jump to Joey. Joey,
save us!
What are you doing? Still clipping and snipping?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find where all this goes.
Okay. Roll me, whatever you have for, like, navigation, right? You're underground, so it's kind of hard to tell what direction you're going in, but I kind of want to see if you can figure out where in the city you're headed towards.
Okay, what have I got here? What have I got? That's fleet of foot. That's for running. I have some knowledge skills, but those are in science. That's for escaping. I don't have anything.
All right.
Okay, let's do I do have a thrill for pertinent details.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps in any way.
I'll
I'm
count
trained in a thrill for pertinent details.
I will count that. Go for that. So difficulty is going to be 4.
Okay, I'm gonna use some serious effort on this. This is intellect.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! I did it.
Oh, you did do it. Perfect. So you are 100% confident that the direction you're going is towards the water, right? You're headed towards the Miskatonic River. So you're probably moving several blocks to go from like you don't know where you were with the spiderweb situation, but to go from the Kant Research Facility, it's about 5 blocks to the water, like 5.5 blocks, and you know you're headed that way. Right, the atmosphere is kind of getting a little bit more humid, right? A little bit more like swampy. You'll see like a little puddle every once in a while in here,
okay.
But you seem to be headed towards the harbor, right? Towards the water side.
Okay, so I'm headed towards water, which tells me that this might be some kind of like sewage tunnel or...
Yeah, or at least an old causeway, like an old spillway,
a spillway?
Yeah.
Okay, Joey starts picking up pace. Now that I've clipped a few, like, farther away from the main building where everybody's located, and it at least won't explode that far in, Joey's gonna pick up pace. Joey needs to find the end. Joey wants to see the river. I need to see if there's a way for me to flood this place or, like, fuck some shit up.
Okay. Yeah, fantastic. So you just start sprinting down this tunnel.
Joey starts running, and
Absolutely.
I am well trained in running.
Okay.
That I can promise you.
Are you well trained in giant clinking glass vials full of chemicals in your pockets?
Well, no.
Okay.
But I am skilled in running, and I'm fleet of foot, which means that my agility is particularly high.
Okay.
My hand to eye. So worst case scenario, if the pockets aren't working, I take all the vials out and hold them between my fingers because I have better hand-eye coordination. I'm just running with the vials in hand if I need to.
I will buy that.
Okay.
You hear the clink, 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 and you're like, oh no, and you kind of pull them out, and you're sort of like holding them like a sixer of beers as you run through a frat party, holding these things, trucking it down this hallway. Okay, perfect. Yeah. We will cut back to Tora. Tora, you just saw a red explosion of light from behind this tall man, and the whimpering yet aggressive cry of Bradley Leach from behind him. And you see that the sword is no longer floating behind him. What do you want to do?
Okay. Bradley, I assume you're behind them.
Ow!
Okay, you can move. I believe in you. Just take a breather, buddy. You got this. Tora doesn't know what to do. Okay,
running is a valid plan, people. Just run.
I will say,
here
Tora,
to run from the apocalypse. We're here to end it.
Tora, you do have one hint about a way to stop the horseman.
Yeah. Can I? Well, okay, yes. originally, I do want to stab him in the eye because it is all red, and it'll be a one-handed rather than a rec. Okay. And I'm looking for his lapel.
Okay, you can easily see the lapel. It's just on the front of his jacket, and there's a sword pinned to it. The specific stab in the eye will be a difficulty 6. It'll be 1 higher than normal because that's a very specific point to stab.
That's fine.
But you can absolutely give that a try.
I absolutely want to give it...
I will say, I'll give you an asset because of the very specific amount of flanked he is right now that he just got stabbed with his own sword, which is very unexpected. So that sort of cancels out that +1. So it's essentially a difficulty 5.
Okay, I want to spend 2 levels of effort to hit very accurately and very pointedly in the eye hole.
Go for it.
And that's -3, so that's going to be down to 9. And speed. Why is this my life?
You want to spend some more of those XPs?
Yeah, I'm just eating all my XP out. Wow. Wow.
You want to keep it going?
Yes. One more. You can do it, I believe.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Class on, still
just,
blade.
come on. Difficulty 4. Come on. No, I spent 2, so is it
No, only
3?
1 so far.
It's difficulty 3.
Okay.
Yes!
You can spend all day, Jess. You can keep spending. I won't stop you.
Statistically, I have to roll good this time,
Gambler's
right?
fallacy much?
I'm down to 3 XP with all these shitty rolls.
You try again?
Yeah.
You did it!
Hey, there it is.
You did it! So, describe to me how you stabbed this man in the eye.
Buddy, I was like trying, and I'm like, ooh, no, not this. I don't know if I can do this. Yes, I have to do this. Okay, for Bradley, yeah. And I'm like trying to grab his pin.
And it's the no look. That's the one you get it with. So you stab him in the eye, and again, that same kind of like glowing explosion of red just sort of like beams out of his eye. And he reels backwards and kind of like almost topples into Bradley, who is like stumbling behind him. And you see him like swing his arms kind of wide, right? And like this whirling dervish kind of get the hell away from me thing. And you see there is an opening that if you're quick enough, you may be able to grab that lapel pin.
Yeah, absolutely. Quickness.
That will be a difficulty 5 speed. I'll say a difficulty 4 speed. I'll give you an asset for him stabbing.
Can I pretend my fleet of foot is a skill here?
That gives you agility, right? That gives you like bonus agility. Yeah, I'll let that count.
Okay.
We let Joey use that to use vials. So
thick. Yes, finally.
Okay,
Here we are.
So you reach up and you grab this lapel pin and you yank it off of him, and it's a very strange like feeling. Like it's almost as if the room has just a little tinge of vertigo, and you feel that like almost deja vu kind of feeling, like I've seen this before, but something slightly different. And the man before you looks smaller, right? He looks like diminished. He doesn't seem to be 6'4" anymore. He seems to be of a 6'2", 6'1.5". Right? He doesn't seem as chiseled. He doesn't seem as combat proficient as he was before. As if you tearing this pin away drained him of something. You're pretty sure that you're not sure if he's killable at this point, but you're pretty sure that like you could deal a grievous wound and possibly get the hell out of here, or grab the other pin off the other guy.
How does his eyeball look? Is it still red?
It's still red, but the one that stabbed you can see trickling blood out of.
Okay.
And that will be it for you. This guy kind of reaches up and he grabs the dagger, and you see him just tear it out of his head, and his eye is like completely bloodshot and bleeding out, and you see like the slit in his eyeball, in his oculus, as it is just pouring out of his face. And you see him try to like wildly swing towards you and also try to grab Bradley out of the way, who is still behind him. And he is currently ineffective in combat, having been stripped of some of his powers. Bradley, what are you doing? Actually, Tor, did you shout anything about the pin as you pulled it out to give Bradley a heads up?
Yeah, I'm like, I removed his fancy lapel. This is kind of weak, maybe.
Bradley is going to, he's dropped the sword because he can't like lift that again. It's just blood all over his right shoulder and right side. But blood is good for his magic, so he is going to essentially dig a hand in his own wood to power up Onslaught for
Okay.
a knock against this fella.
Okay. So
And-
give me some Onslaught.
I've got some XP, so I'm actually going to dump all 3 levels of effort into
Jesus Christ.
damage.
Okay. Difficulties 4 to hit this guy.
Difficulty 4. I am trained in it, and 3 levels of effort.
Just
And I have
annihilate
XP
him.
if necessary. Booyah!
You hit. So what's the total damage? 7 points of damage?
5 plus
It's 3 for every level that you've expended. So
Okay.
plus 9 to whatever the damage
so
normally was.
14 physical damage.
I have to maths. Okay.
No, it should be obliterated. It
Uh,
should be in smithereens.
He's pretty close. He was a hefty boy. So was this a physical onslaught or a mental onslaught?
This was physical this time.
Okay.
'Cause
So
I was getting this.
So you sort of summon the blood, and in the throes of combat, it almost forms like a sword, like you just had, and you cleave into this guy's back. Except this time, when it bursts, red light doesn't spill out so much as blood spills out, and it doesn't knit itself closed, as this guy seems to have gained some level of mortality, and you have just cleaving up his back, and blood is sort of soaking down his fine military suit. He's still up, but you can tell he's taken quite the beating.
I don't like it.
We will cut to Joey. Joey, you are running down this corridor here. You get to a point where you're like sloshing through just enough water to make that wet noise, and then it recedes back into normal dry land. And you see that this tunnel takes an awkward turn. You can go straight, and you're pretty sure you'll get to the water. But you're 100% sure you get to the water, but the wires seem to take a turn to the right. The wires don't run to the water.
Interesting. Can I very quickly take a peek at this water situation? Like, is it on the other side of a grate? Is it a solid wall? Is there a spigot? Can I turn, what is the stopping factor of the water coming in? Is it low?
So right off the bat, your best assumption is that this is grates, right? Without running all the way to the water, you can't tell. But from your experience, you've seen these grates on the water side of the harbor.
Okay, right. I look at the wires, I look at the water, I look at the wires, and I tear ass running towards wherever the wires turn the corner.
Okay, the wires turn the corner, and you continue trucking down as they get fewer and fewer, the little lights that go here. And you hit a solid brick wall. The brick wall is relatively recent construction, and on this wall, you see that there are 3 levers. They all seem to go up into the ceiling, and they all seem to connect to this copper wire. What they each do, you're not entirely sure, but they seem to go into this copper wire, and the copper wire seems to go into this brick wall. So it continues on
into the other side of it.
Mm-hmm. As if there's a drilled hole through the brick wall.
Don't know what the 3 levers do, but they do connect to the wires that then feed through to the other wall.
Mm-hmm.
Step 1, clip the wires.
Okay, so you clip the wire.
Yeah, so it's not attached to the switches anymore.
Yep.
Great. Okay. Then, yeah, now through the other side of the wall, that's a peculiar little rendition. Okay, Joey needs to figure out to get. I'm guessing there's been a hole drilled through the brick.
On the top of the brick, yeah.
And it's fresh brick.
It is. You could. It's definitely doesn't match the surrounding, right? This is probably made within the last 6 months to a year. It's still pretty clean.
Huh. Okay. I'm going to use something I recently got.
Tell me about it.
Interesting. Okay. You know what? No. It's time. It's time. I have enough chemicals here. There's got to be a way for me to make an explosive, right? There's enough copper wire and chemicals that Joey could make a bomb.
Yeah, you don't know what the outcome would be, but yeah, you have enough chemicals and copper wire to make
No
whatever the hell you want.
scientist knows what the outcome's going to be.
You're right. Joey least of all.
Joey least of all. So I'm going to say between his thrill for pertinent details and his knowledge of chemistry and the need to get to the other side of this wall, I can either try to wreck it with my fist, which I don't foresee going well.
Sure.
Or Joey can try to build something and blow this wall out.
Okay.
You got this. You got this.
I believe in you.
Great. I'm going to pseudoscience the shit out of this.
Okay.
And I'm going to use what I'm guessing the difficulty to make a bomb.
So it'll be an open-ended roll. You can add whatever skills you need to, and depending on how high you roll, depends on the destructive power and or backblast of this bomb.
Okay.
So it'll be an intellect roll. You can use pseudoscience. You can use chemistry. I think that's about it.
I'm about to say, I'm going to use pseudoscience.
And I'll give you an asset for just the sheer amount of chemicals you have on your person.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to use 2 effort on this as well for my intellect pool. We're getting real close here, gang. I was getting tired. You're such a tired kid. No, I rolled a 1. Oh. I'm going to use an XP and re-roll that.
Okay.
Okay. Hold tight.
Let's join.
Hold the cards. Explosives are not something we dick around with. I gotta.
Yeah, that's not something we want an intrusion on.
No. Okay, I did it.
Okay, an 11. Okay, cool. So you describe to me what this bomb looks like, Joey.
Okay, what does Joey have? Joey has wires. Joey has chemicals. Joey has bottles.
Yep, that's bottles.
Glass vials. I would think that maybe like carrying all these chemicals around, one of them has started maybe like in the shake-up process. I can see it like bubbling and reacting to the friction.
Yeah.
Joey chooses to use that one. I don't know if this is how actual science works, but this is how Joey's science works. He like pulls some of the copper wire off. He strips the plastic off of it. He plunges it into the what is that? Oh, the little like cork that's in the vial, and he like shakes it up so that it's all touching. And then I run over and he attaches a few like chemical things. There's a free switch on the wall. I like tuck the little vial and then I attach these short-circuited wires like the ones together, and then Joey like flips the switch and bolts for it. Okay,
so you flip this switch and you hear like as the sparks begin to fly. And we cut over to Tora, who is face-to-face with the Horsemen of War. Tora, you have stabbed this man in the eye. He is swinging wildly. Bradley is using a blood sword, which is a new feature you've just found Bradley to have. And you have the pin in your hand. What are you doing?
If I'm looking at the pin, does it feel occult, supernatural-esque?
It's weird, right? Because it should. It just, in your hand, like physically, and looking at it, it just looks like a lapel pin, right? Like a sword, like a golden sword lapel pin. There's no sort of aura coming from this. So perhaps it was the interaction between this magical item and the person bearing it. But like in your hand, it just seems like a mundane pin.
I wanted to be juiced up.
I know.
I think I am a little stunned by Bradley's act of heroic nature.
I think even Bradley is.
Of heroism.
And I'm not grappled by this swordsman, right?
Nope, he's just kind of flailing wildly at this point.
Okay, so I'm going to look at Bradley, who's probably on the ground. I'm going to angrily look at you and say, the pattern is in the pins. I'm going to throw the pin on the ground and try and stomp on it.
Okay.
To break it.
Okay. Yeah, so you do that. You stomp on this pin and you hear the clatter of your boot against the stone, sort of crushing the metal pin. And as you lift your foot off the ground, the pin seems unscathed. And as you do, you recall that Belladonna said she might be able to do some kind of magic to it, but she was vague on the details.
I hack a loogie on it as I think of Belladonna.
It slides off and it looks like the frogman.
Okay, I cast darkness on him.
On him?
Yeah.
Yeah, done. You do it. You spend. I think you get a free cast. So you put some darkness on this guy.
He gets eclipsed.
Yeah, and are you maneuvering past him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to roll for it. He's flailing. He's got one eye. Now he can't see shit. And you can kind of maneuver around him. Now you're on the side with Bradley. And we will cut over to Bradley. Bradley, Tora has joined you. There's a weird miasmic cloud sort of around this guy's head as he's flailing and trying to turn to see where you guys are. You see that the Horseman of Pestilence is like and rising off of his knee. He still looks pretty worse for the wear, but he is either trying to escape or trying to mount another attack on you guys. What are you doing?
Well, I've tapped out of my all the built-up special abilities I remembered I have.
Yep.
Oh, no.
You're also now aware that the lapel pins have some kind of significance.
I, at the risk of my terrible rolls, would like to spend my XP for a player intrusion.
Okay, what's your player intrusion?
So Tora has the ability called Ignore the Pain.
Okay.
So on me, if I was impaired, I don't take any of the effect of impairment.
Okay.
And I kind of narratively want to rush to Bradley's side and whisper sweet nothings into his ear. Gross. And be like, yeah, real gross. And Bradley, if there was ever a time where I need you to channel your inner Tora, to rearrange the pattern in your brain and maybe your heart, I know that you can ignore the pain. We are almost done avoiding this apocalypse. Please, hang in there.
Okay, and with that expenditure of an XP to do a player intrusion, Bradley, you can ignore. How long does it let you ignore it for, Tora? Forever or just for a certain number of rounds?
I can ignore impairment, so I don't become damaged until debilitation.
Okay, yeah, so you can ignore your level of debilitated.
Debilitation's coming up soon.
No.
I have so few points left.
Well, then quit spending them.
No. This is the finale. I'm going out with a bang. Bradley is going to briefly touch his forehead to Tora's in wordless thanks, and then lunge for Frogman.
Okay.
And I want to grab the pin.
Yeah.
But cast Onslaught when I do so he goes one way and I keep the pin.
Love it. Okay, cool. Roll me Onslaught.
Okay. I can't spend all 3 levels of effort or I'll knock myself out. So I'm only spending 2 levels of effort.
Okay.
Difficulty 5, you said?
Difficulty 5. Yeah, difficulty 5 with this guy still.
Okay. 2 levels of effort. Assets.
Yes. Success. So you reach down, you grab the lapel pin, you feel those scales kind of pierce into the flesh of your palm, and you cast your Onslaught, and this guy sort of slides to the side with a wet fop as he hits the ground, and you see his kind of googly-ish yellow eyes slump, and he seems to be unconscious. And as you sort of rise up from your heroic stance, you no longer feel the press of a pin in your hand. You clearly felt it when you grabbed onto it and yanked it off of him. But when you go to open your hand, there is in fact no pin in your hand.
I don't know what I'm seeing anymore. I think I have a concussion, Tora.
Tora, as he turns around to see you, and through the sound of pounding flesh outside as Hiram beats the rest of the guards down, you see that Bradley is wearing the scales on his blousey lapel.
That's okay. That's okay, Bradley. You have procured it. You are doing a great job. We need to find Joey.
you hear from outside, "We gotta go! Where's the kid?"
Joey is gone. In a good way, though. Probably.
Where? A good way?
The pattern. Cora?
I swear to we gotta get out of here.
Bradley's going to stumble towards the exit and Hiram's path out that he's undoubtedly clobbering.
Tora, do you grab the sword pin?
Yes.
Okay.
Damn, I forgot about it. Yeah.
I wouldn't let you forget. So you scoop the sword pin. Bradley, you run out towards the hole that Hiram has punched in the people, and you begin to sprint back towards the loading dock to the at least fully functional vehicle that you left behind there as a quick egress. There is some pursuit behind you, but Hiram takes up the rear, and you hear more of the wet smacks behind you as you kind of lead Tora to where you recognize as the parking garage, the underground parking garage. You are able to get to this van. You know you can do what you call driving, but you're pretty sure someone else might be better at it. But you are at this vehicle if you'd like to take it.
Yep, Bradley's going to crawl into the passenger seat.
Tora, can you drive a vehicle? I mean, you can fly a plane. I assume you can drive a vehicle.
Yeah. Chump change.
So Hiram is still punching people as you guys are kind of getting in, and as you start the vehicle up, you feel like a yank on the vehicle as he throws open the two back doors, and he stands in like the van part of this thing, and he's like holding onto the inside as you kind of speed off. Where are you going?
Essentially nowhere, unless I don't want to give up on Joey. So I'm like trying to talk to my two compatriots over here. I'm like, where we gotta find Joey. We can't just leave the child down there. Where?
You're right.
If you had a transport spell, wizard, now would be the time to transport us to your magical tunnels and find a Joey.
I can only make the car fly. I can't make it swim.
Is there, out of character, is there any way to find Joey? Because character, I genuinely don't have
I don't
any
think
idea.
there's any way. So Joey said, "I'm going to go explore" to Hiram and Bradley, right? So they would assume that she is in the immediate area, but there's no way for anyone to know where Joey has gotten herself to.
Oh, Joey.
Yeah, there's gonna be an explosion.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Just hold tight.
So it's definitely Tora driving this car maniacally around the block over and over again.
Okay. So you begin to pull this out of this place, and you hear the wow, wow, wow. The klaxons are still kind of going, and you smash through the chain link gate out of this thing. Mirrors and fenders begin to pull off the bumper of this vehicle as you begin to hightail it down a side street, trying to spin back and forth. And then everyone sees it. There is a massive and you just see a cloud of dust arise from the area of Oldport, down by the harbor side, past the Miskatonic University. You see a cloud of dust erupt, and this acrid black smoke just billow into the sky and dissipate, as if it looks like a factory explosion almost, like a backfire in a factory, that kind of gout of black flame. But there's no factories in that. That's the merchant district, so there's no reason why an explosion like that would have happened. So maybe it was Joey.
How did they get all the way over there?
Time fuckery. So would you like to head in the direction of the pending explosion?
I will do the best that I can, not being native to these streets. I'm just
they're mostly straight. So and you can get there. I was gonna say they're straight as his cast, but that's not true. That's not true at all. They'd be all over the fucking place. They are mostly straight as you barrel down towards this explosion. And the closer you get to it, the more and more recognizable it gets, as it seems as though the epicenter is right near the Foxglove. As you kind of screech this truck to a halt. It's around the Foxglove, perhaps on the harbor side district, like right on the other side of the Foxglove, perhaps the Foxglove itself. It's just kind of, at this point, the smoke has started to begin to settle, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly where it is.
Okay.
Joey, you receded a bit, but you are essentially in a tunnel covered in just acrid black smoke as you're trying to like waft your way through.
Yeah, I want to see what's on the other side of this wall.
Yeah.
I've come so far.
So you begin to like waft the smoke out of the way. You can feel the exploded brick, and you can get to the side beyond that. And it's still covered in black smoke, and the lights have stopped, right? So first of all, you cut the switch, so like there's no more lights anyway. But now you're in darkness, in smoke. So you're just kind of feeling around in here. And what you can feel is like shelves. You can feel like maybe wooden casks or like large wooden like drums. You begin to like feel around. There's like old like dusty like wooden shitty furniture in here, for what you can kind of think. But you're mostly just feeling around in the darkness at this point. You're covered in soot, looking like a chimney sweep as you sort of stumble around in this area. Is there anything you want to do to try to figure out where you are?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta figure something out. I guess I'm interested as to what they would have bricked up behind this. Old furniture seems like not important. Maybe it's what's on the shelves. What do I have? Oh God, gang. Okay.
You, for the love of all Joeys.
For the love of all Joeys, Joey reaches in their side bag and pulls out a newspaper, because I'm always stacked with newspapers.
Sure.
Not my really magical one, but another one. And I roll it up, and I'm gonna torch the end of it. It's gonna be a newspaper torch.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, so you do. So you sort of, you can see a little bit, and you can see that as you kind of wave this around, it's like, you ever put cinnamon on a fire and you see the crackles and sparkles and shit?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. So as you're waving this, whatever particles are residual in the air, like crackle and spark off of this thing. So you have
It's either gunpowder or pepper.
Well, it's whatever you made, right? So the acrid smoke has residual something in it as is a fire starter. So you're kind of waving this around, and it like sparkles. It doesn't seem to be enough to like cause an actual flame. Like it's not going to ignite, but it is like, almost like flour in the air. That's kind of a little bit flammable.
Okay, cool.
And you can see that this seems to be a bootlegger's cellar. There are wooden casks of what you assume to be alcohol. Several of them are exploded. The ground is now wet with reeks of bourbon.
Liquor.
Yeah.
It seems like bourbon.
Yeah. And you see that there is a large still, it's probably like a 7-foot tall still copper basin. And you see that there is an entire rack of these bourbon barrels. You see that there's a few like casks on the ground. You see there's like tasting snifters and like tapping tools.
All right, Joey don't care about any of this. Okay, he's done. All right, here's what's about to happen. Joey is gonna go back around the corner to where the grate is. It goes out to the river.
Yep.
Is that free? Can I push it open?
Do me a favor before you retreat. Is roll me a perception. Difficulty is going to be 3.
Okay, I'm trained in perception. So it'll be 2. No effort. Just make it happen. Success.
As you are kind of waving your torch around, and as you're about to be like fed up and done with this place, and you begin to turn back, out of the corner of your eye, you catch a rickety wooden staircase that leads up.
Okay. All right. Fine. Joey bites. I don't need any of this. Joey needs none of this. So Joey will take the stairs.
Okay. You take the stairs, and they appear to end at a wooden wall, but you kind of feel around, and you see that there is another set of copper wiring, and there's a small switch on the wall, as if this is some kind of a trap door.
Joey pulls it.
It opens, and you find yourself in the parlor of the Foxglove. Smoke billows out into the parlor.
Cool.
Joey? You hear from behind the bar.
What? What?
What are you doing in my basement?
What are you doing?
This is the
Your basement feeds... No. Your basement feeds all the way back to the university. They was going to blow all this up.
My basement connects to the vast tunnels. We knew that. Bradley showed up through the tunnels.
Okay, but what it don't explain is why they run wire all the way from the university, all the way under, with little, green vials hanging of some pretty toxic bullshit, all the way here. Don't you tell me to watch my language. I points right at her.
You're right. It doesn't explain that at all. Is this the only tunnel that contained those vials you speak of?
No, there was lots of tunnels, but I clipped the wires. It's fine.
Well, then it sounds like they were running them all over the city, and not just here.
I don't trust you.
She looks to you and, smiles and says, grape juice?
No. I just saved your foxglove, so I feel like I am deserving of something a little bit more than just a good old-fashioned grape juice.
She winks to you and then pulls out a glass bottle and fills it and then looks down at you and then fills it twice as much and then slides it to you. And then she says, a double.
Oh, okay. Joey takes it very excited. Okay, now he's willing to negotiate. Joey wants to know the book that we were looking for. Okay, is that here? Did we give that to her to keep?
As far as you know, you haven't found the book.
Okay, we haven't found the book. So, I guess my big dot is trying to figure out... So I have this snazzy Cypher I haven't used.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the ideal, in-game Cypher to do something with. But I'm not sure what to put it on. So I know that there's, all these things are happening, and they're tied to something, these, ongoing kind of effects. I have something called a nullification ray.
Mm-hmm.
It allows me to end one ongoing effect that is produced by an artifact, cipher, or special ability.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like all these things we're collecting or have been trying to search for are artifacts. So Joey basically just is gonna just wipe it, turn it off, hit the off switch.
On what specifically?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
On what?
Gotcha.
That's the real question. Is if the book was here, maybe I could do it on the book. I don't know if I need to hit if there's is there a location? Is all of this emanating from a single artifact?
So I mean, as far as you know, the book was an artifact. As far as you can tell, the stone you had was an artifact. But I believe that Bradley has that stone, as it came out of a weird heart that he had inside of him.
Right.
The tabernacle was probably an artifact, but you did a good smashing on that thing, and that's probably broken. You don't really know about the lapel pins. That was kind of a Torah exclusive, but those are probably artifacts as well. And then a myriad of things in Belladonna's basement are probably artifacts.
That are affecting the current situation.
Affecting the current situation, no. Those just seem to be things
stuff
that she's collected.
Okay. Joey probably coughs out a bit more dust from their lungs and sips the alcohol.
As you take a sip of this, it is in fact a double grape juice. It is a full glass of grape juice. And we cut to Bradley and Tora outside in the van as you sort of screech to a halt in front of the Foxglove.
Ooh, that was something. That was very something.
Why don't we get your ass inside before you start spouting about patterns and passing out in here?
I can do that no matter where we go, Tora. He's going to slither out of the car and wobble towards the exit.
You feel the back end of the truck lurch up as Hiram steps out. He says, "What are we doing? Where are we going? Why are we back at the Foxglove?"
Because all patterns lead back here.
I don't know what that means, but all right. And he trudges past. He looks at Bradley. Nice. And he walks up the stairs and opens the door, having seen it look like you took some combat. And he's quite proud of you for a second. As he opens the door, and you hear him just go, "Hey, I found a kid." And he walks in casually.
Bradley's going to not say but mouth the word pattern at Tora.
She takes away the one might point you have left.
Oh, I have 0 might. I have nothing. I've got 2 in intellect.
Perfect. She punches you in the head once and you're down.
Just flick your little forehead.
So
You pattern!
He mouthed the word pattern before proceeding into the foxglove.
Yeah, we're all walking in. I'm busting the door down looking for Belladonna. I feel like an utter failure. Like, we didn't get all the pins, we didn't get all the book.
She looks to you and says, and as she sees like Hiram sort of walking in, there are now 3 more glasses on the counter and she's pouring, and then she like looks at Joey and then pours the 3rd glass and then puts the bottle back on the shelf. How was it? Did you get everything you needed?
We live, okay?
I'm impressed.
We got 2 of the pins.
Well,
Wait, what pins?
Joey! I come run up to you and like pat your little cheeks. I'm like, you are alive too. Thank goodness the explosion happened.
I made that happen. Actually, just right down here if you want to see it, because the tunnels led from there to here.
Of course they did. Absolutely. Because why the hell not?
But that being said, all the green juices that was in the bottles that was attached to the thing that was gonna like release into the air and whatnot, I clipped those wires, so it's fine.
It sounds like you've been productively safe and not with any horse people.
I've not been with the horse people, but I have an idea. Do we have anything, wizard-like magicals or something that's got like the bad jujus in it?
We have a whole wizard. I can give you the whole wizard.
I don't need the whole wizard. I'm talking about like it's attached to all the going-ons, like that stone, or
I have
the book.
stone.
Did you get the book? You got the stone.
I have the stone still.
So what if I told you I forgot that in this bottom pocket of my bag I had this thing?
A thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I forget.
You didn't forget anything.
I got hit by a car today.
Jesus Christ! I look at Hiram, I look at Bradley, I'm like, you let them get hit by a car?
I kind of myself threw my body in the street.
I had a spell on Joey. They were going to remain essentially unhurt.
No, but what I'm saying is, so I got this thing, right? I've been sitting on it for a while. I think I figured it out. I've been fiddling with it. I'm pretty sure if I use it just right, it'll nullify the magical businesses radiating from that rock.
You think the rock is the source of the problem?
I think it's one, right? Like
I thought that was just related to the god that we released. You're better off with the phonograph, right?
What phonograph?
The basement, right? Didn't that the juices and the people?
Did you get the book?
No.
We have the pin.
What's a pin?
Lapel, to be precise, in our language. Pin. Yes, they powered up these folks of the horse variety of the.
Oh, you got them all?
No.
That's okay. You got one? Okay. That's this a wait. Put it over here.
I toss them on the counter.
Well, you toss the sword on the counter. The scales are on Bradley's lapel.
Right. You didn't know. You don't know it's on there because you were like, I don't see the lapel anywhere. And I'm like,
okay.
Tell you.
Where's the other one? I hold the one up.
I take Bradley by the scruff.
Oh.
And Bradley, you get like a tug, and you see that it is on you as Tora unhooks it and plops it on the counter.
Okay, we're gonna put it over here. I go over to the wall that I basically blew open.
Yep.
And I set them on the ground, and I pull out what seems to be a magnifying glass.
Okay.
That has been altered by Joey. This is gonna be my final Cypher. I've used all my Cyphers in this game. It's got like all of these like weird arms and things that like add extra magnifying pieces and like stuff to it. And Joey like pops it out and like folds out all the bits and like lines them up just right as like extra lenses and stuff come in. And he like adjusts something, he like twerks something on the back, and he points it right at the thing. And he says, nullify. Because it's power word operated. Because I didn't really plan for this until tonight. and it like beams out like a sunbeam coming through the thing, and it hits the two items, and hopefully it'll nullify one of them in the effects.
Yeah, so you sort of pass this over, right, like ants under a magnifying glass, and you see it hit the glinting metal, and you would expect this beam of light to like reflect off of this thing, and as you kind of scan back and forth, it almost seems to absorb the light. There's no indication that this worked, but like it did what it was supposed to, right? Like, so it absorbed whatever energy you were putting into it, therefore it should have nullified it.
Okay.
You're not entirely sure how they worked, and as Tora found out, in her hands they were completely mundane. So if you go to touch them, they're cool to the touch. They seem just like regular lapel pins. They have a little damn it on the back of them. They're just pins, as far as you can tell.
Great.
They have no properties.
Hopefully whatever artifact they were, they've been nullified. Joey walks over when it's all done, and I begin just like stepping on them.
Yeah, so you begin to crush them down. Whatever they're made of is stronger stuff than your typical like aluminum lapel pin, but they don't seem to react any way to your stomps.
I already tried that, kid. Nice try.
Would you like me to hold on to them for safekeeping?
At
No.
this point, no. I still don't trust you.
I really don't. Thank you, Tora.
Bradley will pick both of them up and put them on.
Bradley,
I thought you meant
you pick
us.
them up. You pick them up, and you no longer feel them in your hand. And as you turn around, you are wearing them.
Well, they look snazzy. Do you feel different?
How the fuck did you do that?
He's a wizard.
Now
Are you telling me?
We've come a long way, okay, Bradley? From us sneaking around in the fog and eating mushrooms to, fighting off horses apocalypse and stuff. So I feel like if you're a wizard, that's not the worst thing that's happened to me today.
Why are they attuned to you? Why do you just touch them and they're in there?
I don't want to overstate the obvious here, but Bradley, you seem to be in possession of the stone and no less than 2 of the horseman lapel, and you're Bradley. Perhaps not the safest of keepings, and she kind of like looks to Tora as like hey, this is kind of your job.
Wait, I don't understand. Can we not trust Bradley no more?
If somebody wants those artifacts, all they have to do is capture Bradley.
Okay, give me the stone. Bradley.
Tora?
Bradley.
Wait, you could give me the stone.
Bradley.
I'm not a child, Tora. I'm a wizard. Spent a long time studying these things.
But
You get 1 lapel. I get the stone. We give 1 lapel pin to the girl.
There are places I can go where I won't be found.
But then we can't hang out no more.
That's correct.
You will always be found by the one person we unleashed into this realm. So there are places you think you can't be found, but I guarantee you're going to be found. This is not a solution where you can just run away from us. Not this time.
Well, where else could we hide it? Maybe it doesn't have to be on Bradley.
What if I just shove it down Belladonna's throat?
You could just.
Well, that's not going to last very long because it will pass.
Bradley's going to fish out the stone, undo the pins, and hand them to Belladonna.
She places her hand out, and sort of you hear the clink, clink, clink of all of them in her hands. She says, "They will be safe in my sanctorum. I suggest that the rest of you rest. The warded rooms are available, and you have earned a respite."
You mean the one with the monster under the bed?
That was
We're never gonna let that go.
I'm sleeping on the booth. I'd rather get kidnapped than sleep with a monster.
Fine. And she reaches down, and she reaches behind her and like tosses the 4 keys on the counter, and then she reaches down and wrenches open the stairway downstairs. Are you guys headed to your individual Heart, Spade, Club, and Diamond rooms?
Yeah, I guess.
Did we ever separate our beds? Because they were all in one room at the last time.
I assume in the course of in the course of reality bending, they became unseparated.
Oh yeah. Narratively, I would totally be down to be in one room. I don't know how we're ending this, but
I mean, you guys can push all your beds into one room again and make it work.
Does this mean we won?
It means we're alive.
Well, I've been alive for like a whole of 9 or 10 years. That's really not anything special. Did we do it? It's not the apocalypse no more, right?
Joey, we'll never win. There's no such thing as winning.
That's not true. There's always a winner.
No.
I literally flick him in the head. I'm like, stop that!
Yeah.
We don't win. We don't lose. We just keep playing.
But what's the point?
You, me, Tora, we're the point. We're the story.
So, you both just risked your lives because we wanted to tell a story?
Because we wanted the opportunity to keep going.
So can we do it
Pattern
again tomorrow?
doesn't stop.
I hate you, Colin.
I'm gonna stab you with a butter knife.
So we can get up and do it again tomorrow?
We'll do something. We'll see what that is. I hope it has less teeth than this one did. The man with the frog face is still sort of rattling around up there.
You know, maybe tomorrow we can go down into the tunnels. There's a lot of green liquid.
I would like to see the tunnels. You should take me into the tunnels one day.
Okay.
So you guys push your beds together in a respective room and lay down for a quiet respite in recovery.
Oh, I need it so bad, yes.
As the door closes to the room and the silence washes over you as the ward goes into place, the camera pans down the stairs and into the basement undercroft of Belladonna's Sanctum Sanctorum. As she walks down and takes the stone out of one hand, that hand containing only the stone, where once it contained lapel pins, and she places it in a very banged up black tabernacle and then clicks it closed as she reaches down to a massive book that is open in front of her. Picks up a golden laurel, places it on her head, and her stunning shining black hair changes to shock white. And as she turns, you see her look at the pentagram map, and all 4 blood dots are on the foxglove, and she has all 4 pins on both sides of her lapel. And that is where we end.
Evil. I knew she was evil. Evil people only serve children grape juice.
And that is where we end Men of Letters.
Oh, that bitch.
Miss Belladonna was Conquest. She was Conquest the whole time.
Yeah.
We all knew that, Mike. You would just keep trying to convince us that this wasn't the case. We all knew that.
All knew it. It's called leaning into the genre.
Yeah.
Tropes.
We're
Trope.
angry.
Tropes.
Fuck your tropes.
We're angry that we were right.
The rightness was too good. I was just like, no, they gotta. So that was the final episode of Men of Letters. We'll be on break next week, and then we are coming back with Colin in the hot seat, running us through some Monster Hunter Symbaroum. So a Swedish
Monster Hunter.
Yeah. So a Swedish dark fantasy, grim dark setting where bad things happen to bad and good people. And sometimes you get killed by monsters. Most of the time you get killed by monsters. So let's go around, do our introductions, get your final thoughts on this campaign, and get the hell out of here. We'll start with Jess. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to? And what did you think?
It's me, and I need to sneeze, but I'm going to suck it back in. So, yes, I am Jess. You can find me on the internet as Burst of Hope. This has been a great session. I love me some Cypher. This has been an interesting story. I've been playing a lot of Powered by the Apocalypse as of late, and you can find me on other channels. Just follow me on Twitter. Probably find me at Big Bad Con in 2 weeks if you are happening to be in California. I will be there. If you need supplements that require reading, I like reading them. I helped Wanna Cook Games do their consent in gaming PDF, and I very much want to help people be kind to each other. So thanks.
Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
What did you think of the campaign?
You know, for someone who has 0 experience in Lovecraft, I enjoyed it.
Hell yeah. That's the least
Yes.
I also have very little experience in Lovecraft, so, Google.
It's been good.
Yeah, I've had fun. With that, we'll jump over to, I was going to say Bradley. Colin, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to, and what did you think?
Hi, I'm Colin Vulcanet. I am one half of the Phantom Roll Booth. That is a creative firm of content creators comprised of me and my partner. You can find me most prominently on Twitter under @ColinItLikeIC. I talk nonsense. Occasionally I talk games. And where you can find me, I have some things in the pipeline, but right now nothing is really replacing this. So I'm just going to be running the next game. However, there is an anthology coming out soon called Eat the Rich. The Eat the Rich anthology. It's a anti-capitalist 5th edition D&D adventures. I am going to be one of the authors in that. There are a couple of volumes. I don't know which one I've been assigned, but I'm in it somewhere. So keep an eye out for that. Eat the Rich anthology will be on DM's Guild, Drive-Thru RPG, that sort of thing.
Hell yeah. Fantastic. And then last but not least, we'll jump over to Little Red Dot. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to? And what did you think?
I'm Little Red Dot. You can find me online as such, and all of those places. Playing a lot of tabletop games. I'm on a little bit of a hiatus part of this week and into next week where I take my big vacation, but I'll be coming back strong in the month of October. So, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch as Little Red Dot, where I GM and I tell a lot of stories online on cool and awesome networks like this one. The next place that I think you'll find me is this Saturday. I will be over on Roll For It doing the Vampire Masquerade campaign, which is kind of kicked back up in full swing. And then, like I said, I'm taking a week's break. But, there's Tuesdays and Wednesdays. There's on my channel where you can see Witch Girl Adventures or the Scum and Villainy campaign that I'm currently running. And some new things will be coming in the new year, mostly Renegade games. So you can expect to see some fun things.
Sweet. And what did you think of Men of Letters?
It was great. It's funny. I've been playing a lot of Cypher, but I've been playing it for the Owl of Lycia.
Yeah.
Over on my channel, which is a very different one. Marcy just is a totally different storyteller or GM than you, but it's just a very different world, high fantasy, kind of weird and obscure. This has been really, really interesting. I have a interesting love-hate relationship with Lovecraft, and all of this was just love. There was no hate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I tried to strip down all of the bullshit and just make dope monsters in a weird, creepy atmosphere.
Perfect. And I bought it. And when I pitched my idea as a child, you were like, you didn't tell me no. So there's that. That's a plus plus.
You want to be a weird child mad scientist? Absolutely. Why the fuck not? Yeah, this has been a blast to run. I like Cthulhu-y, Lovecrafty, weird horror things, and this was a sweet amalgam of both of those. I had a blast. This Saturday, we are doing our 12-hour charity stream from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come check us out. We've raised over $28,000 for Extra Life so far, so we're pushing towards our goal of $7,500 for the year. So come by, help us raise some money, and do all that fun stuff. And that's it from us, guys. We will we'll see you tomorrow for Morty's Devils, and we will see you Saturday all day for our 12-hour charity stream. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.